Welcome back to aidbees. We are back with our podcast of the Young Bees session, and I'm glad to introduce you to Sahasra, a grade 7 student from Chennai. Uh, it's another podcast looking at children's love for animals and how an animal can change one's life and one's attitude towards animals in the broader sense. Without wasting much time, I'm going to take us over to Sahasra and let her explain her journey and her work with animals. Hi, Sahasra. How are you?
Hello, I'm fine. How are you?
Very good. Welcome to Young Bees. Sahasra, tell us quickly about your journey with animals. From what I understand, at one point in time, you were not an animal lover.
At first I was not an animal lover. I was pretty scared of all animals, especially big ones. And I slowly started feeding and petting dogs around my community. And that way I got a little comfortable, but not fully with animals. If they licked me or came too nearby, I would get frightened. And then what happened is over the lockdown, I started reading this series called Animal Art by Lucy Daniels. And this was actually it was a huge change for me, and i I've always been obsessed with this author. It's about a family with one daughter who loves animals and both her parents are vets. The author would include small inspiring stories about saving animals and stories that I could relate to. I was mainly inspired by this, and now I have a proud 65 books to boast. And due to this, my journey has sort of been like this. Firstly, I made a committee called SAFE, the Stray Animals Fund entity, in which anyone who was interested within our school could join. In this entity, we all worked solo by thinking of ways to raise money with little to no input, and the funds we got would go to a teacher in our school who in turn used it to treat stray animals in his area. For example, we vaccinated puppies or kittens, staying on neutering or treatment for viruses like parvo, etc. I also volunteer at BMAD, which is Besant Memorial Animal Dispensary, and I have a blog in which I post about simple activities you can do to help animals or basic knowledge about street animals, mainly dogs.
That's great. From being somebody who didn't like animals to doing so much work with animals under 2 years, right?
Yeah.
Fantastic. So I know you pretty much told me your entire journey, but I'm still going to go back a little so that we can understand it in more depth. How did it feel? The conversion, how does it make you feel now?
Well, I I pretty much I started off not feeling any empathy for animals because I didn't know what was going on. I just saw that sometimes stray dogs they would get run over or something, and I thought, well, there are millions of them. What change is it going to make? And then I started reading. I understood more. I matured a little more, and I actually understood that it wasn't just a matter of one animal out of a million. It was one life. So that change has not only helped me in my journey with animals, but basically everywhere else in life as well.
So interestingly, you said everywhere else in life as well. Do you mind expanding that a bit?
Now I'm able to empathize with like I said animals, but also I'm able to like feel the difference between seeing it as one in a million rather than one soul itself. I'm able to see it as one soul itself rather than one in a million, which I can't explain exactly how, but it's some sort of changed my mindset in different aspects.
Great. But I like what you said. I mean, one in a million. That's a really good correlation. What about your family? How did your family react to this and the changes that it's brought in you?
So the first time I was actually surrounded by my favorite animals was when my parents took me to Twisty Tails. It's a place in Nungambakam. And this is a dog themed cafe with a room full of Shih Tzus and other toy breeds, which you can play with at a certain amount of money per hour. And though the experience was fun at that time, I realized that we were more treating the dogs there like they were playthings. And it was cruel to put them in such a small space. And I shared the thought with my parents as well. My dad did some research and found BMAD instead. And I'm extremely grateful to him for that. My dad was actually like he was the whole skeleton, the whole backbone of all my work in than helping animals. It's not everyone that's encouraging me in my work about animals. Not in a negative way, but there are people who think that BMAD is just weird. There are 150, 200 dogs who have diseases and etc. And like my grandparents, they don't really appreciate that I'm doing work for animals. They're more concerned about my safety. But I've explained it to them, and they're fine with it now. My mom supports me, my dad supports me, my friends. They more think dogs are just cute, but they understand what I'm doing for them. So
So when you go to BMAD, can you tell us what BMAD stands for?
So BMAD stands for Besant Memorial Animal Dispensary.
So what exactly do they do, and what is it that you do there?
BMAD is amazing. They always do their best to help in all times of need, whether it's simple or dire. And volunteering with them is not like a task or work, but it's an enjoyable experience that I look forward to every week. I don't even mind standing in the Chennai heat for 5 hours a week in the afternoon because I know that I'm giving a small part to save lives, and that I'm surrounded by my favorite beings. Um, in BMAD, we bathe we bathe dogs, we groom them. We just the dogs are always happy for company. They're divided into different sections. Some of them are extremely hyperactive, some of them are aggressive, scared, and there are different temperaments with the dogs. And we basically, even just being there, showing them that someone is here for you, even that I feel is a change for the dogs. So
it's lovely. So this has been your 2-year journey. What now? What's in store for you? What are you thinking of?
I will do anything I can to help animals in any way I can. That's why my ambition is to become a vet. I want to be able to do more than just bathe and entertain dogs or educate people about their welfare small scale. So curing them when they are in times of need is the next best opportunity to me. And to the more close future, I want to bring together a team. I have no certain plan, but I want to bring together a large team, and together we'll cure, shelter, feed street animals who need our help. Fostering animals is something I plan to do even in our summer break. And I already have an experience with my beautiful calico kitten Olive, who I'm happy to say is in a safe, caring family right now.
So when you're saying fostering an animal, what does that mean?
So fostering is more like when you what, can you just pause the recording for 1 second? I'm really sorry. 1 second. Basically, fostering is where an animal is in a small, mostly kittens, puppies. They are up for adoption, but then there's no one to take care of them till they're adopted. Like someone found them on the street and they're not in a position to take care of them. But then they haven't been adopted yet, and we don't know how long it can go, from a few days to a month or two. So foster parents are people who take care of them in that time, and it's a great experience. It prepares you for adopting an animal in the long run or taking care of another animal. Just knowing what's going on behind pet owners.
But does it become difficult for the fostering parent to let go?
It can, but actually, this is also something that BMAD has helped me with. I've seen a lot of my favorite animals either get adopted or pass away, become really sick. And that way, I've just learned that it's very possible for them to go away after you've taken care of them for such a long time, after you've loved them for such a long time. So when Olive went away, which was a month or two ago, I wasn't really affected. I cried a few times, that's for sure, because I really loved her. But I was okay after that.
So you've not thought of adopting one yourself so far?
I actually have, but yeah, I feel that I'm not really ready to take care of an animal long term. I feel that it's better. Fostering is better because it's making an impact in lots of animals' lives rather than just taking care of one. And my parents too, they don't really want to take care of an animal long term.
But tell me, what happens in case an animal doesn't get picked up, doesn't get adopted? So what happens to those animals?
Well, I'm not really sure what happens immediately, but the foster parent, they do have a deadline. If it takes too long, they pass it on to another parent, and that way it keeps getting passed on. But if it takes too long, the animals might get put down.
Animals might get?
Put down, like by the vet, they'll have to be killed.
So what about your friends? Are they engaged? Are they engaged with you? Have you managed to you said you're trying to get a group together. So have you started working on it?
Yes, I have. I talked to a lot of my friends about what's going on behind what we see every day, the stray dogs running around between the roads, how dangerous that is. And I think I've helped change a few mindsets behind this. A lot of my friends do have pets and they do know what's going on. So I hope to bring those people together, form a bigger group through that, and help more animals.
Anything else you want to tell us? Anything that comes to your mind? Any experience with an animal? When you're grooming them? Anything that you can tell us?
Well, I would like to tell you more about how we got Olive. Is that fine?
Yes, of course.
Okay, so Olive, basically, I found her downstairs. She was abandoned by her parents because she was the runt of her litter. So I got her the first night because she was stuck. She was running through the gutter. She was extremely scared. But then she was yowling so loudly that me and my mom really didn't know what to do. So we thought we might see what her mom does if we leave her downstairs. So we left her downstairs for a while, and we saw that absolutely nothing had happened after we came back in a little while. So we brought her home again. A couple of times she got stuck inside a car's engine and stuff, and we tried to see what she would do if she downstairs, just to see if we could release her if she grew up again. And then we just decided that okay, this kitten's too naughty. We're gonna take care of her, and it was a great experience. It was amazing. And so our neighbors actually they wanted to try adopting her. Um, I'm using the word try here because they weren't really sure about it long term. We hesitated quite a bit before giving it to them because they didn't have a clear mindset of what they would do. But then, so Olive always had a sensitive stomach, and then the first day that she went there, she puked up a few of her kibble treats and all of that, which scared them. They thought that this was actually the new normal for her, and they said, "Okay, I'm really sorry about this, but we can't take care of her. We'll have to give her back." So we took her back in. We kept her for a week or so, and then we found my aunt's drivers. So he had a cat for the past 10 years or so, and then she had passed away recently. So he took Olive in, and now she's happy. She's in Kolattur living happily.
That's lovely. One kitten at a time. That's beautiful. Great. Sahasra, I'm pretty much at the end of my podcast. I think it's been great hearing you, how from being somebody who was not interested in animals to completely convert and now talking of becoming a vet. The journey of 2 years, as I always say, one kind act at a time, can change so much for you and for everybody else around you. I hope you become a vet. I hope you do save many, many animals and work for them. And if not, I'm sure you'll always love animals and they'll always be part of you. And it's really, I mean, for me, also being an animal lover, but like you, I don't think I'm ready to adopt an animal ever. Too much work, I feel personally, and especially at this point in time. But definitely, I think we do need more people like you who can really give so much time and effort towards especially the street animals, whether it is dog, cats, whichever ones. I mean, I feel at times it's so sad to see the state certain animals can be. And I feel at least in the lockdown, I've seen the shift in a lot of people where a lot of cats and dogs especially have been adopted. I hope it continues. I hope people do not, now that you're getting back into some kind of a normal life, kind of do let go of the pets. It'll be sad. I do know people who are doing it, and I hope not many follow the trend. But definitely it was very delightful to see so many people adopting pets during the lockdown. And I hope that continues. And I wish you all the best for your work. I hope I can come back to you in 10 years and see you as a vet and see what your journey has been. Yeah.
Thank you. I hope so too.
So much. And thank you for being with us at 8 Piece.
Thank you.